If we go to the Bitcoin USD chart, of course, we can see we are at new all-time highs, but again, it doesn't necessarily feel like we're at new all-time highs because we're seeing Bitcoin underperform compared to other industries. So what we can do is if we measure Bitcoin rather than versus the US dollar, a depreciating asset, if we actually measure Bitcoin in units of other comparable hard desirable assets like the S&P 500, we can maybe get a little bit of a fairer insight into the current valuation and comparative purchasing power of Bitcoin. So as we can see, if we zoom out, this looks very much like the standard Bitcoin chart, but there are a few little nuances and differences. For example, the double peak cycle we saw in 2021, the secondary peak was actually lower than the first peak we set, potentially indicating that Bitcoin's additional purchasing power had actually diminished in this second peak. So even though the USD price was higher compared to other assets, we hadn't actually set a new high. Maybe Bitcoin was only higher in dollar terms due to the fact that we'd seen excessive printing. So what we can do is if we just scroll across here, we can see that as I've filmed this right now, we're actually coming back down and retesting this previous all-time high that we set in 2021. So a pretty key level on the chart here. We can see the last time we reached this, we did have a brief bounce and we're coming back down to retest this. But the last time we convincingly broke above this level, we actually set a new high on this chart at 19.64. So again, this feels odd because it's not priced in US dollars, we're pricing it in the S&P 500. And because that price is fluctuating all the time, we can see that it might be a bit difficult to kind of visualize where that may take us. But if we just go to the S&P 500 times 19.64, we can see that if Bitcoin was to reclaim the current all-time high that we've set, then the price would be somewhere around $134,000 to $136,000.